Hey guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to go through your top most asked questions on my new sewing book. If you watched my last video, you would know that I've just released my first sewing book. It's called So Simple and this is what it looks like. It's currently available on pre-order and it actually comes out and will be sent to you in June. The love for this book has been unreal and I'm so happy you guys like it. So I thought I'd go ahead and film a video answering your most frequent questions about my new sewing book. So I've got a list of questions that I compiled from Instagram and on YouTube comments, so I'll go through them. The first one is, are these new patterns from your current collection and what sort of patterns are in the book? Yes, so basically all the patterns that come in this book, there's 15 of them, are not on my website and they are only going to be available in the book. There's a really lovely range of woven and knit patterns in this book. There's tops and dresses, trousers, accessories. There's just so many in here and I know you're going to love them. But yeah, you won't be able to buy them on my website Tammy Handmade. You'll get instant access to them when you buy the book, because I know a few of you reached out saying you wanted to buy my patterns like the Margot pinafore or the Rhea dress, but you're making sure they're not going to be in this book, and they're not going to be in this book. These are completely new and you can't get them anywhere else other than this book. I'll put on screen right now some sneak peeks of the patterns you can expect inside this book. There is also a table of contents. I'll put that on screen now as well. As you can see, there's so many patterns in here. It really is up to you what you want to make and what your skill set is, but all these patterns are really here to help you refine your skills and try new techniques. They do range from very beginner friendly and then some more intermediate. Maybe the last dress in here, it's a button-up dress, that would be classed intermediate to advanced because there's a button down front on the front of the dress. But honestly, I just know you're going to love these patterns and they're going to be great for your wardrobe that you can sew for any season. So the next question is, does it come in centimeters or inches? So in this book, I specifically wrote everything, all the patterns, all the instructions, anything in this book comes in both metric and imperial. So if I just open up the book and go to the size chart, for example, can you see that? Hopefully it's zooming in nicely, but you can see that next to each number, like measurement, you can see it's in inches and centimeters. So throughout the book, whenever I'm referring to a measurement of any kind, it's always going to be in both inches and centimeters. So whatever you're most comfortable working with, you can just pick and follow the guidelines for you. The next question is, will these patterns work for plus size? All my patterns currently go from a size 6 to 32. On my website, they're not all updated yet. I have recently just graded them all. I'm working on a new website where those are going to be uploaded. But in this book, all the patterns run from a size 6 to 32, which is a max bust of 57 inches or 144 centimeters, a max waist of 50 inches or 127 centimeters, and then a max hip of 60 inches and 152 centimeters. So as you can see, the size range is really wide and I'm just really happy to provide a size inclusive sewing book. During the testing process, I had quite a few plus size testers sew all these patterns. All the patterns have been tested and honestly, they just look so good. One of the models, where is Elena? Oh, there. We got Elena to model the camisole in this book and it looks so good on her. That one looks amazing across all the testers that sewed it, but in general all the patterns have been tested across different sizes. So if you fall within the size bracket that I mentioned, you are going to love these patterns. I did get someone ask if I was able to share some tester pictures that people made in the garments, but the pattern testers kind of was different to how I normally do them. Normally I ask testers to send a photo of the finished garment so I can use it on my social media and stuff, but this time it was purely fit testing, so they didn't really take really nice images of them in the garden or like a nice setting. It was very much for fit purposes, so I don't have any pictures of them where they would feel comfortable with me to actually share them because they're all kind of in their homes with their hair up. And you know, it's so funny because some of the testers have tested for me in the past on all my Tammy Handmade patterns, and then being able to use them for the book was just literally amazing. So if you are watching this and you did test one of these patterns, thank you so much. So the next question is it only made for beginners or can intermediate sewers find new things in it as well? So the whole reason I created this book was because when I first started sewing, the garments in the sewing books that were already out there, first of all, didn't really fit the vibe that I was looking to create, but also all the garments were very, very simple and they didn't really reflect clothing I would genuinely wear in my everyday. So the whole point of this book is if you're a beginner or an intermediate sewist, so whether you've sewn before or you haven't sewn sewn at all, you will find patterns in this book that you will love to sew. So for someone like me that's been sewing for 6 years, there are patterns in here that I specifically created, so I personally would want to sew the patterns in here. There's literally, this is one of my favorite patterns actually. It's on the back. You can see it's a camisole and it's extended into a dress length. There's literally just so many in here. One of my favorite patterns actually is in here. And I don't want to release everything at once. I want it to be a surprise as well. But there is a halter neck dress in here that I absolutely love. You can see it on one of the models. She's wearing the top version with a stretch midi skirt. But there's also a dress version and that looks amazing. I'm not going to release that yet. I want to release that closer to the time, the pictures of that. But yes, no matter your skill set, there are patterns in here that you will love to sew. But if you are a complete beginner, like you haven't even sewn anything before, there are things like scrunchies and tote bags and accessories in here that you can definitely use to practice before you go ahead and sew something that has to be fitted to you. But if you do get stuck on fitting, I do have fitting guidance in here. So how to do things like a full bust adjustment, a small bust adjustment, lengthening and shortening the pattern, literally just things to make it a bit more crafted to your personal body shape. So the next question is, what's your favorite pattern in the book? Oh, I guess I just talked about that. So yeah, it's a halter neck dress and it comes in a dress and a top version. I'll share sneak peeks of that one closer to the time of me wearing it because, oh my God, that's literally my favorite pattern. I was making it and I was like, this literally feels incredible on me. All the testers that made that in the plus sizes look incredible. So I can't wait to share that one with you, but that's going to be a special sneak peek in the book. Again, this book comes with 15 sewing patterns. So if you think about it, my patterns on my website are currently £9.99 and this book is £22 currently. And if you think about the price ratio of how many patterns you get in this book compared to how much they would normally sell on my website, this is obviously such a great deal. So I'm so happy to be able to actually provide an affordable way to get a range of patterns that you're going to love, and it's only going to cost you a fraction of what it would cost on my website. So the next question is, I am an absolute beginner. Will I be able to follow your instructions? Absolutely. So my aim as a sewing pattern designer is to make sewing patterns that you genuinely enjoy making, and also the instructions to be super digestible and easy for you to follow. My biggest pet peeve when I first started sewing was that books just weren't as in-depth as they should be when it comes to instructions. So in the previous video, I think I shared the idea that when you get a sewing book, it only comes with a few illustrated instructions and the rest are just purely written. But in my book, for example, each instruction actually comes with an illustration, so there's actually no guesswork on your end of what to do for each step. Across all my sewing patterns, I always get such great feedback from my testers and also you guys that have bought it about how easy to understand my instructions are. For example, my latest pattern, the Margot Pinafore, everyone seems to rave and love how I broke down how to do the burrito method, because that can be such a complicated sewing technique to do, but I managed to really break it down so anyone, regardless if you've done it before, could do that simply. So all the patterns in this book have been written and illustrated how I always do them, so I'm 100% confident that even if you're a complete beginner, you will be able to follow the patterns in this book and start making clothes you're going to absolutely love. I am also going to definitely film sew along YouTube videos for each pattern in the book. That won't be straight away because obviously there's quite a few patterns in there that'll be over time, and I'll probably release them after the book actually goes live in June. So after June, that's when I'll probably start posting maybe one a week or twice a week of the tutorials of how to sew each pattern in the book. But regardless of that, the instructions and illustrations that come in the book have been tested by people that have made the patterns, and I just know you're going to find it really easy to follow. So the next question is, will the patterns come in the book? Will they be download and print? So all the patterns that come in this book are PDF downloads, so you'll be able to print them as many times as you like. As soon as you get access to the book, there's a page in here that gives you a QR code that you can scan, and you can download and print the A4, US letter and A0 patterns as many times as you like. All the patterns in this book are layered and they're also differentiated by different strokes, so it's really easy for you to follow, and you can also just select the sizes you want to print, so it's easier for you to actually look at when you're cutting out. If you're new to sticking out sewing patterns and understanding how you actually use digital sewing patterns, I have a whole section in this book showing you exactly how to stick the pages together and how to actually use digital sewing patterns in general. It is also on my to-do list to film a YouTube video showing you how to assemble sell digital sewing patterns easily. The way that I do it is just nice and simple, and it just means I can print them out as many times as I like. So those are the questions that a lot of you asked me that were the most common in my inbox, and I hope that's helped answer your questions that you had. Honestly, I just can't wait for you to get your hands on this book because it's been such a labor of love. I know how much work and energy has gone into this, and I just know you're going to love the patterns because I've already had my pattern testers be like, these patterns are literally insane. Thank you for creating them. When can I post about them? So it's available for pre-order right now, which means you can order the book now and be one of the first people to actually receive it in June. So June the 12th is when it's actually going to be released, and that's when you'll probably get it in your mailbox. I'm just beyond happy that you guys love this book and it's been received so well. I saw last week it actually was #2 on Amazon under fashion design, which is mind-blowing. Like, this is my first book, and for it to be recognized like that is literally insane. But I just want to say thank you, and I just can't wait for you to get your hands on this. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.